Right then, this is a new project I'm working on. Some Guildball figurines. In fact, I better put that in the Twitch title. Drink of coffee before I start. So this is just going to be a quick session. This is going to be a new project I'm working on. Some Guildball, my Guildball team, the Brewers. Got some plastic ones and some metal ones here. But what I wanted to do quickly, because it gets asked a lot and comes up in my lessons, well, it's probably the most important lesson I teach, and that's Zenithal priming, and we're going to look at the reasons why to use it, how to do it, and what I use. So why do Zenithal priming? Zenithal priming is a massive time saver. I suppose it depends where you are in your painting. As a beginner, what I see in people coming for lessons is they consistently get the placement of their highlights and shades wrong, or don't even know where to place them. And Zenithal priming can take that guesswork out for you. You don't even need to think about it, it's there for you. It's like paint by numbers when you were a kid. You know exactly, once you've done a Zenithal prime, you know exactly where to put those highlights and shades. The other benefit for you is that it kind of does a bit of blending for you. If you're just going to lay over the top, which I'll talk about maybe in another video in more details, just thin layers of paint after your Zenithal priming and let that prime show through, it's going to look amazing on a tabletop. It's not going to look that good close up. You're not going to win any competitions, but you've got blending without blending, and you'll see in a minute when I've done the priming of how that's possible. And then the other benefit, I suppose I've already talked about, is that as you're going along, you can see where I need to apply my dark paints. I know where to apply my light paints, and I know where to apply my brightest paints. And you know, I consider myself to be quite an experienced painter, but still I look at a model and where the highlights hit from the Zenithal prime. So, God, you know, I would have never put a highlight there, or I would have never shaded that little crease. I would have missed that little crease, but it brings the model to life so much more. Why use the Zenithal technique? It seems pretty much 90% of most professional paint jobs use it, I would say. Games Workshop tend to use what's called general lighting, so the light's coming from everywhere, whereas Zenithal lighting, the light's coming directly from above, and you'll see that in a minute. And don't get me wrong, general lighting can look awesome, but I've even seen in Games Workshop studio paint jobs there, some of their painters seem to be using Zenithal principles as well. So I think it gives a much more realistic effect to your models, and miniature painting is all about that illusion. We need to fool the viewer's eye into thinking, is that tiny? Is that big? Is that a real person? And I feel Zenithal lighting really gives that realism and fools the eye. So let's get started. So I'm going to use the airbrush, but you can do this with cans, but I'm going to use Vallejo surface primer, supposedly this shrinks when it hits the model, when it dries on the model, which sounds kind of cool, because I like to think that, you know, if you've paid a lot of money for lovely sculpted miniatures, you don't want to fill in all the details, so I like the idea that this shrinks. We're going to use the black, then we're going to use the grey, and then we're going to use the white. So like I say, you can use cans for this, but the airbrush does give a smoother effect. Cans can make the prime a little bit peppery, if you know what I mean, a little bit dusty looking, which you can use to your advantage if you're using I painted a troll and I used the speckled effect to my advantage, actually, using cans. But I'm going to use my airbrush today. So I'm going to use black to begin with. This technique can be really good for getting an army done quite fast as well. If you just do Zenithal priming and then thin washes of the colours that you want to use and let the prime show through, you can get to a desktop, tabletop standard quite quickly. Let me just see what's going on with Twitch, why my chat box isn't appearing. Can use my phone. Let's get Twitch up on here, see if there's any questions that come up. Oh wait, I can see it on screen now. I've just refreshed my information. Don't need to use my phone. Right, so loaded it up with some black. I've got quite a few miniatures to do, so I might put some more in there actually. I'm using my cheaper airbrush for this job. I find cleaning my expensive one over and over again, I don't know if it's doing any harm, but I don't like the idea of it when I can perfectly well use this old one for this job. But you don't need to be super accurate. So with the black, we just want to spray all over. So, and if you're going to spray anywhere, you definitely want it from underneath. But I find that if I spray it black all over and trust the process, you may be surprised at where a shadow should be that you didn't even think about. So I would prime it black all over just for that benefit, really. Maybe I should have used my good airbrush. Something's not going quite right there. Bit of a blockage. Yep, I'm going to swap over to my other airbrush. That's what you get for using a cheap Chinese one. Hey, raging again. Yeah, I'm gonna try doing a bit more streaming if I can get my airbrush working. There we go, that's a bit better. So yeah, kind of lost my painting mojo recently, but starting to get the itch again. Obviously out of practice because I've just dropped him on the floor. So yeah, the benefit of priming it black all over rather than relying on the grey and white to prime the surfaces facing the light is that I find the black also goes into all those recesses and areas that you want to separate out, and that can save time later as well. So let's, for example, where his tabard meets his flesh, we want a nice dark line in there, and doing the black all over I find does that for me, where if I'd have just come in from grey or white above, I wouldn't have got that dark line in there. So that's him done. Let's do the dog. Now I've been lazy and not given these a scrub to get the releasing agent off, so fingers crossed this sticks okay. Yeah, seems to be going on alright. But yeah, they are the plastic models from the starter box. They're actually not bad at all. I'm very pleasantly surprised. I've done no cleaning on them either. There's very little mould lines or any flash that needs removing. So I'm very impressed. Right. I'm just going to put a rubber glove on before I paint my fingers any more black than they need to be. Hey, back happy. How you doing? I'm just doing a post on how to do Zenithal priming, so it's not going to be a long session. So if you've got any questions, or maybe watch the video afterwards, at the beginning I kind of explain the theory, but happy to repeat if you've got any questions. So, well, it's pretty simple really. I'm just priming them black first. I'm going to do grey from 45 degrees and then white from above, and then the rest of the painting comes a bit like paint by numbers then really. I've got a guide of where all my highlights and shades need to be. Takes the brain work out of it then. On Zenithal priming, so how to get your lights and your shades in all the right places. That tends to be the reason, well, one of the main reasons to do Zenithal priming. The other reason is if you want to use really thin down paints and let that Zenithal priming show through, it can be a really fast way of getting your models to tabletop standard in a very fast time. So, or if you want to do to a higher standard, at the very least it tells you where your highlights and shades should be, but eventually you do paint over that guide, while with the faster version you let that prime show through. Right, well, it's probably the #1 most important lesson I teach when people come for lessons, and it's probably the one thing that they all go away thinking, oh my goodness, why have I never used that before? You don't need an airbrush to do it. You can use cans. Just get yourself a black can, a grey can and a white can. Oh, I'm off screen, sorry. Tell I'm out of practice. Okay, that's him done. Your compressor blew up. So I forget who's who and whose usernames I know and who they are in real life. I did a recent lesson for someone whose compressor blew up over Christmas. Are you the same guy? I thought that was too much to be a coincidence. Hi Josh, how you doing? Oh, well, Josh will know why my light just flashed, because that bulb's on its way out. I haven't replaced it. Your hard drive's ready, by the way, Josh, so if you want to pick it up from the Games Club this Thursday, I'll bring it down. So did you have a nice Christmas? That question goes to you, Backup as well. I think what I'll do with this footage as well, I'm recording it locally as well, so I'll probably edit it down and put it on YouTube. Oh man, Backup still got a week's vacation off. Nice one. I didn't get any painting done over Christmas. I feel like I've been drunk for nearly 2 weeks. And, I've eaten far too much. But I guess that's what it's all about. Yeah, I'm really impressed with these plastic miniatures from Guildball. Have you got yourself a team yet, raging again? Sorry, I'm realising I keep painting off screen. Let me try and get a more comfortable position. Yeah, that's right, back a bit like Guildball. Is the quality of the stream okay, can I ask? Oh, cheers, thanks. That's a relief. Still never ceases to surprise me how far an airbrush can make paint go. I feel like I put hardly any in this cup and done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 models so far. Oh, it is, yeah. Thanks. Didn't notice that. Let's try. Yeah, it's not very good, that, is it? I don't want it too distracting. You used to be able to do a pop-out chat box from the oh, maybe you still can. Let me try that. Yep, pop out. Here we go. This is going to be better, I think. Copy. Right, let's get rid of that one and add. It's still not perfect, is it? I don't like the size of it. We'll see. Don't want it to block the models. Well, I suppose if I paint over in this corner, that'll be fine. that better? Yeah, I think that's better. Finally ran out of paint. Can't believe I got all them done. So what's happening with the compressor and airbrush, Josh? Have you returned it? There we go. Oh, brilliant. Oh, I'm pleased. You playing Brews Guild then? Yes, yes. But that doesn't stop you if you fancy getting the Brewers as well. I think there's going to be quite... Well, you can have a Brewers v Brewers, and there's plenty of other people to play at the pub. It's because we're talking about Brewers. At the club. So have you got another compressor lined up? I guess that's not a bad problem to have, Josh. There are worse things in the world. Whoops, am I knocking the camera? I am. And the light's going out. What a professional setup I have here. Ah, what a shame. Did you say how long it's going to take to arrive? It's a pain waiting for something, isn't it, when you've got your heart set on it. You've done all your research and you just want to get started. And you've got to wait. Well, it's like when you buy something, you get it all the way home from town, and then you open it up and there's something missing or it's broken, and then you got to return all the way to the shop. And I feel your pain. Oh, coffee. I'll let my coffee go cold. So, I've just loaded up the airbrush with some grey, and now rather than painting everywhere, we're going to restrict it to 45 degrees. So we're going to come in from the side, as it were, or slightly from above. So a bit like this. And already it's starting to come to life. And then one final thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to concentrate on the top half of his body a little bit more, just to draw the viewer's eye up to the top half of the body, because we naturally tend to look at up towards the face anyway, so we'll just use that little trick to draw the viewer's eye up there. And as you can see, we're starting to get shades and highlights in all the places. So for example, under his belly is nice and dark because the light, if you imagine it coming directly from above, can't get there. And under his arms are still nice and dark, and under his muscles are nice and dark. So that's him. I asked him last week and he said wait after the weekend, so he might have it. Oh, good. Done. Once I've done all these with grey, we'll come in with white directly from above. Him done. Just get the little cat. Now what I should have done with this cat actually in retrospect is gone straight in with the colours I want to paint her, because I find with models that are all one colour, rather than Zenithal priming them, do them black, but use the Zenithal priming principles with the actual colour. So let's say I was going to paint her a ginger tom, then I should have really come in with a ginger colour now, and then a lighter one from above, which I'll probably do with this dog actually. So I won't prime him. More grey. Not sure yet, colour scheme wise. I've seen some really, I've seen some really nice tartan on the internet that I'm thinking of using, but I need to practice it first on something else because it's quite a complicated tartan. There is a simpler tartan, but I don't like it as much. But yeah, so I guess colour scheme wise, I'm gonna have them in tartan, so a Scottish kind of theme, so probably stereotypical ginger hair on some of them, maybe all of them. I don't think I have, Josh, no. You could send me that link. You might not be able to do it in the chat box, but you've got my email address. Wow, I like this miniature. He's really cool now. He's coming to life with a prime. Very cool. Go. Should I do the dog or not? Yeah, sod it. Well, need to fill those gaps in his leg, unfortunately. I can see that you've tried to post a link, Josh. Yeah, I don't think it'll let you. If you could email it to me, that'd be good. Once I get back into the swing of things, I can't remember how to add you to the list of regular viewers to allow you to post links. It's been a while. So I'm just cleaning the airbrush. I'm going to add the white. Cheers, Josh. Right, and now I'm going to add some white and spray everyone from above now, directly above. So anywhere the white lands, I know when I'm painting it needs to be a very, very bright colour or shade of the colour. There we go. Maybe a bit hard to see under this harsh light. Oh no, bad time for the light to go out. Although actually, probably seeing the models a bit better now. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to turn that off. I don't know what it's like at your end, but that looks a bit better on screen at my end. Maybe if you could let me know. Ah, good. Right, well, just in time to end the video because they'll need to dry now, really. So let's dig out this guy. So hopefully you can see that I now have a really good guide. So anywhere that's black, I know needs to be nice and dark. So let's take his muscles at the back, for example. When I'm painting them with a flesh colour, I'll use a very dark flesh colour in the black areas, getting progressively lighter into the grey, and then very, very light, like on his, I don't know, I wish I knew the names of the muscles, but on the top of his shoulder blades there, I've caught some white from above, so that would be a very bright flesh colour, as would the his top of his hands and his top of his biceps there. Okay, I'm going to sign off, but maybe back on later to when they've dried a bit to do a bit more painting. So thanks for tuning in. Nice catching up with you, Josh, and maybe see you at the club on Thursday. I'll check out that email link you sent me. Okay, bye everyone.